Ladies and gentlemen, our first formal presentation this afternoon is going to be by Dr. Richard Nabors. He's from the Deputy Operations Chief of the Night Vision and Electronic Sensors Directorate from the Communications and Electronics Research Development Engineering Center on asymmetric vision.
Hello there. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. As was just stated, my name is Richard Nabors. I'm with the Communications Electronics Research Development Engineering Center here at the Fort Belvoir, Virginia. I'm going to tag team this briefing with Dr. Bert Davis of the Engineer Research Development Center, working together, RDECOM, SMDC, ERDC, MRMC, working aggressively to deliver capabilities which will enable disaggregated small units to operate in complex, congested environments, those environments that we anticipate seeing as we move into the next generation battle space.
So the brand, if you will, the term of reference is called Asymmetric Vision Decide Faster. It originated in in-depth studies at OSD level and at Army level to look at what capabilities that were already in the S&T portfolio you could bring together in an open architecture that could increase understanding at the soldier level and promote better decisions faster than an adversary. So you'll see the partners here. It literally is across Army S&T community and as well across the portfolios.
So as Dr. Davis said, asymmetric vision and Decide Faster have at their heart technologies to improve sensing, processing, and decision-making that happens at the small unit level. When I say small units, I'm really talking company and below. The expectation is as we move into these congested, complex environments such as dense urban environments or megacities, as Major General Wynn spoke to, we're going to be in situations where we're going to be denied comms or we're going to have intermittent comms. Generally speaking, the way we operate currently is that we flow information up to higher echelons before we make some of those critical decisions about where we're going to maneuver, where we're going to prosecute the fight. It's the expectation as we get into that more lethal future battle space that we're not going to be presented with those opportunities. So how can we push information down to the lowest echelons possible to enable them to continue to fight and operate in those complex environments? And again, going back to asymmetric vision and Decide Faster. So asymmetric vision is all about improving our ability to understand, to observe the environment. So the sensing and the sensors that are required, that are necessary to gain some sort of understanding or perception of the battle space is really what we're looking at with asymmetric vision.
The Decide Faster pretty much asks this question. Say you've bought back all the field of view lost in a dense urban environment, all the line of sight that's gone away, and you're under a mountain of data. What do you do with it, and how do you get it to the decision maker in a way that is not drowning in data sets and data flows? And so Decide Faster is a research that looks into providing just the right piece of information that aids understanding, jives with intuition of the warrior at the right time at the point of need.
So this should give you some insights into different types of technologies that we're looking at as a part of the Asymmetric Vision Decide Faster concepts. It's important to note that Asymmetric Vision and Decide Faster are closely nested with the Chief of Staff of the Army, the Acting Secretary of the Army's priorities for modernization. What we're looking at with Asymmetric Vision and Decide Faster will hopefully enable the next generation combat vehicle, the concepts for future vertical lift, absolutely soldier lethality, and many of the other modernization approaches that are being sought. If those are the pillars that we're built on, we see ourselves as being some of the mortar and some of the integration that happens between those concepts. So with that said, I'll bring to your attention a few specific technologies that we're looking at where we're heavily leveraging the efforts of industry. So if you look at miniature displays, we have requirements within the Department of Defense, within the Army, for heads-up displays, small heads-up displays, something that you would think would be analogous to Google Glass, but unfortunately Google Glass doesn't necessarily have the brightness that we need in daytime environments. It's also not rugged. It draws a lot of power that we may not have in these environments that we're going to operate in. So as we move along and work with industry, we've got to get those small low-cost freeform prisms into a place where they're rugged. that they can meet the requirements of our soldiers. Another area that we're looking at is advanced training and simulation technologies. So dense urban environments pose some really unique challenges from a training perspective, meaning there are all sorts of trainers out there for operating in complex environments, but the types of environments that our soldiers are going to encounter, where you're discriminating friend from foe, you're in places that you've never been. These aren't things that we want our soldiers to encounter the first time they go into the battle space. We want to develop training mechanisms and training tools that actually allow our soldiers to be in that space virtually before they go there, so when they actually hit the ground, they can hit the ground running and again, prosecute the fight quickly.
So I'll just touch on a couple. Earlier today, you saw a presentation on three-dimensional terrain, what that looks like, how intuitive that feels. All you really need to see is one of those videos and moving around what 3D terrain looks like. You can understand that that's an intuitive thing. Unfortunately, that's rather dense, and so where the research is going there is to boil it down to wireframes where you can have a significant built-up area and information packets that are emailable, for example, would be one long-term goal. What do you do with that? So the next one I'll touch on that it's a potential game changer we call augmented reality situational awareness and targeting. And that addresses this. We know we can put things on displays, helmet-mounted displays, vehicle displays, and so forth. But look around you today, notice the teenagers, looking at screens slows you down. And in a disaggregated warfare concept where movement is critical, not only for maneuver but for survivability, screens can't slow you down. Screens have to make you smarter and faster. And so a lot of work going on with Army Research Lab and CERDEC on what augments cognition, what detracts from cognition, what stuff is on the screen, if anything, all the time, what stuff are just glimmers on the screen to spatially orient you, and so forth. So augmented reality is the idea that through training, rehearsal, and right into ops, the key information that's going to continue to support the warrior making better decisions faster is what we're after there. So not just displays, but what you put on those displays.
Just to add one more to the equation is multifunction sensors. We go into battle typically with a sensor that performs one function. The idea is that as we move into this battle space, which is undetermined and variable, etc., we need to develop capabilities that enable our forces to adapt on the fly to what they're encountering. So again, with these multifunction sensors, we anticipate being able at one point to mitigate the effects of brownout, while a few seconds later having that same sensor provide a hostile fire detection capability. This chart walks through what we refer to as the technology concept areas, and we feel this is the way that we're hoping to continue our engagement with industry. We within the Army don't prescribe to the we built it here. We have to stick with what we've come up with. The only way we're going to achieve these capabilities are through active engagements with industry, academia, and the other services. So rather than getting down to specific technologies, what we've come up with are technology concept areas to help you better understand where we're looking for and where we hope to be going.
So if you look down this list and these definitions, there's probably a good percentage of the booths out there in both display halls today that you might think touch on this, and you're right. The key is almost a cultural change in Army S&T to integrate at earlier, lower technical readiness levels. We already have a consortium, an integrated product team across all the labs, all the portfolios, and we're talking about integration demonstrations as early as technical readiness level 4, perhaps even lower, and this is ongoing. Without industry, though, we'd just be not completing the solution. So
we're proud to announce that we are going to be having an industry day in the 13th and 14th of December. It's our aspiration at this event to provide as much detail as we possibly can to industry on the capabilities we're hoping to achieve, but we don't want to bind you too much to, a specific solution. We're hoping that industry can come to the discussion with information describing novel capabilities that we may not be tracking, which we can incorporate into the capability set, and which could possibly mitigate our having to make investments in areas that you've already made some great strides in. So this information on the Asymmetric Vision Decide Faster Industry Day is available on FedBizOps. Dr. Davis and I encourage you to check out FedBizOps, look for the information on the Industry Day, and please, if you're interested in participating in this activity, which we anticipate going over many years, please sign up to brief us, and we'll be happy to brief you at this occasion as well.
I think we're good. At the Industry Day and other events that we have, we dive in a lot deeper. And so there you go. I think we're done.
So are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier stage technology. What is the right way to integrate with you or adopt you?
So the question was, we talk about earlier stage technologies. What's the right time? What's the right way to integrate with us? White papers, respond to our RFIs for your situational awareness. We're constantly putting requests for information out there. Forums such as this, our Industry Day. It's our hope to establish at some point an industry army group that will get together on a regular basis to talk about what industry is doing, talk about what we're doing within the Army, to ensure, again, we're not wasting our resources, that we're taking advantage of the capabilities that exist within industry. So, again, initially, reply to those RFIs, support the Industry Day, and then as we stand up this activity to go ahead and create this industry government consortium, please sign up. We're not going to limit participation.
Let me add to that. This would be the first of an annual event, probably going through 2023, 2024 kind of time frame.
Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for your time. Take care.